We dream so colorful. Oh, we love so strong. The world is relentless, the city won't sleep. It hardens your soul, brings you to your knees. But we can face it all. With our fearless hearts, we could be ours, and we could live for 1,000 years. We could be legends. If we all go down,
to the Boise State esports page. I am your host, Michael Fisher, joined today by a very special guest, Brenner Bear of the Boise State Overwatch team. But just because he's with us today does not mean we'll be doing Overwatch. We're actually doing something completely different. We are doing Rainbow Six Siege, a pair of games tonight, Boise State versus Champlain College, and then Boise State against Santa Cruz later. But, Brenner Bear, thanks so much for joining us, and I've got to say, it's weird to say you're on the Overwatch team, but you're here to cast Rainbow Six with us.
Yeah, kind of weird dual lingo that I have of playing Siege too much, but I also play Overwatch.
Well, I'm definitely glad that you're here. I have just barely started experimenting with Siege, so it is going to take me a little bit, so I'm glad I have someone here to help me out. But it should be a lot of fun, a pair of games. As you see there, Boise State taking on Champlain University, the Broncos versus the Beavers. So this should be a fun little matchup here. And is there anything you want to, let the viewers know? I know this is maybe, I think, our third Rainbow Six broadcast. Is there anything you want to let the viewers know about what to expect in Rainbow Six Siege?
I would definitely keep an eye on our player Danny, because I know he is the big playmaker for our team. I would definitely watch Champlain as well to see how they play, because I know they've done really well in the past. They have a very good team set up, so I'm interested to see how they play out and what the first map pick is for sure.
So I'll be very curious to see how all this works out. I know that we're starting to dabble for Boise State in Rainbow Six Siege. It's really a fun game. So which one did you play first, Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege?
I first played I believe R6 actually came up before Overwatch, but I definitely played them side by side for the longest time because they both have the first-person shooter element, so it was just good aim practice hand in hand. I definitely enjoyed them. And then I heard that first map pick would be Villa, so that will be a very good map to start off and warm up all my callouts for the map and try to remember everything, so it'll be a good warm-up for us.
Perfect. Very excited. It looks like we're going to roll in here. So tell us a little bit about the map as we get some of these bands out of the way. What kind of map style is Villa?
So Villa is a very hallway-oriented map. They're probably going to go second floor, first sight. And for the band, I wouldn't be surprised if they pick something like a Blackbeard here, because he's good for the picks. They're going to pick that Thermite to deny some of that bigger hard breaches. So that means they're going to have to pick that Hibana, because she's the only other hard breacher in the game at the moment. Unless you want to go with that Maverick.
What about for Boise State? Do you think they'll go with the Blackbeard band you were talking about, or what do you think?
Based off of what I've seen from them, Blackbeard would be a very good idea. They could also go with the Monty band. That's a very common one. But they're going to go with that Thatcher to deny the anti-electricity, so that also counters the hard breach method that a lot of people pick.
And I know each team gets one offensive and one defensive band, so kind of take us through what you're looking for on each side. So I guess we did the offensive, so defensive, what kind of bands are you looking for just in terms of what are you trying to get rid of?
So they chose the Mirror here. Mirror is very strong on the second floor because she allows you to see through those hard to breach walls, and she can easily get a pick right through her mirror if she breaks it. That just gives her a small hatch to shoot through. And they're also going to ban the Echo here. Echo's drones are very strong because they can deny the plant of the diffuser on the bomb. So I really like these bans here. I'm interested to see how this plays out for sure.
And it does look like Boise State is on the attacking first, and then it will swap after 6 rounds. So who do you think has just the advantage, the attackers or the defenders?
Defenders definitely have an advantage here, both with the Jaeger. Oh, and they just switched out the mute for the Valkyrie, so they have a lot of cams with the Maestro Valkyrie. They're going to have a lot of vision. They have the Mozzie to both take over the attackers' drones. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win this match just purely based off the vision that they have. But it looks like they're going to swap back to the mute from that Valkyrie. So they just want to get rid of those drones and not let the enemies see what they're up to.
It's like Boise
So I'm interested to see how they did that swap for IQ again, that 6th pick. So, and they went with that hard breacher Maverick as well, so it's going to be a slow breach for them. All right, and they did go second floor.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, okay. So they're immediately with Mozzie opening up that rotation between the two sites, which is vital for them, and they're going to wall off the opening to Ruins, which is where most likely Boise will spawn to engage them. And they're going to have a roamer, it looks like, as well. Yeah, that Legion looks like he might go out Roman, and ESU is droning them out, but holding the stairways to keep vision for the roamer.
Well, why don't you kind of break that down for maybe some people who have only watched a couple of Rainbow Six streams on the channel? What is a roamer? What is sort of their purpose?
Sure, so a roamer is to hold control of the map outside of the sites. So when the attackers come in, the roamer could be right outside that window where they breach in and just get a quick elimination to just set the odds in their favor. If you usually for comp, you want to see about 1 to 2 roamers at the most. And here we see at least 2 of them outside, so that means the rest of them are going to be on site anchoring those 2 bombs to protect them.
It's like for now.
Alright, looks like they're trying to enter bedroom. Looking for those roamers as well. They know they're in Astro right now, which is that blue room.
Now, to me, it would think that if you are Boise State, if you don't know where the roamers are, but this would mean to say that this sort of opens up Champlain to sort of be sieged down in a sense because they have those people who might not be able to react as quickly since they are sort of roaming as opposed to holding the bomb. Is that maybe a strategy Boise State could use, or since they don't know where anyone is, it would be kind of risky?
I would say they could go for that shot once they find where they are, and they immediately take out that Mozzie on the stairs. So that's both roamers down right there. Good for sure, taking them both out in Astral. So that means they have control of the rest of the map as far as they know, looking for any other roamers that might be there, but they're pushing that bomb site now.
Does look like Boise State doing an excellent job there. Gonna get and so why don't you help me out, Brenner Bear, with the knockdown? Sure. Is it everyone I know headshots are instant elimination, so if you're not hitting the head, you're just knocked, or is it only certain characters that get knocked instead
of getting eliminated? It depends on the damage they deal to you. It's very hit or miss on whether or not you go down, but they will get points saying that they injured someone, so they know that person is down, and then he will get that elimination on the Legion as well. So I believe he is still down, leaving the last member alive, so they're not going to push. Oh, there goes the injured. So there's one last one. They're just hunting for him right now. And they get it. Flawless round for Boise. Just got in quick.
A really good job by Boise State there, as you mentioned, the flawless round. But, you know, let's give something to Champlain there. How do they fix that? Was it too many roamers? How do they, you know, actually find a way to get an elimination onto Boise State?
So I think a big thing for Champlain is going to be holding those angles and not peeking as much. Their Mozzie definitely just peeked the stairs and just got taken out by that gridlock right away. Very good on for Boise watching that, knowing he was there, scouting him out. So I think Champlain should definitely keep on the move and hold angles rather than be peeking them and play a little bit less aggressive for him.
And I know you talked right as you heard that it was Villa that you thought they'd go with the second floor bomb sites. Are you surprised they're going to go back with second floor since they kind of just got wiped, or is that just sort of the way that everybody goes on defense here on this map?
Second floor is the most popular site. It's definitely the most versatile to hold, but with that mirror ban, it's a big change because mirror is a vital key if you get her on this map. So it was definitely interesting to see them pick it again rather than the other second floor site on this map. But if they think they can hold it, I'm interested to see how they change it up this time.
Anything you're noticing here as they sort of set up anything different, or do you think they're just going to look like they're running the same thing here?
It looks like they're running the same thing. They switched out the Mozzie for the Vigil, who's a different roamer. His ability is that he can't be seen by drones, whereas Mozzie just takes him over. So they'll know that they have the Vigil, but they'll never be able to see where he is. So he is a very good roamer for Champlain here. We'll see if he gets some value against our Boise team.
Like as
it looks like Boise went the exact same
objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Champlain's issue last time, as you mentioned there, Brenner Bear, was their roamers got picked. So I think it's going to be really key for them to make sure they do a better job of roaming and not, as you said, just sort of trying to keep peeking.
You want to get value out of your roamers, at least 1 to 2 eliminations, just to try to even the odds when those roamers eventually get picked off, if they do. And we're going to see Boise once again entering in that bathroom master bedroom. We'll see that Vigil keeping an eye out as well, holding his angles. He's listening for that drone. Alright, he's been spotted, so we'll see if he rotates out or not. And he'll pick up that... Alright, he got value that time. Now they're even up again. So far, so good.
Even though you said he got valued, it looks like another elimination's going to go out there. Juco going to go down. With the roamer getting an elimination, even if he gets eliminated, is that still advantage, or is it just kind of reset since he got taken out as well?
It definitely resets it, but it also gives both teams knowledge of like, hey, we took out this roamer, and they just got the other one as well. So that is both roamers out for Champlain, and he did not get the value. Actually, he did. He got the diffuser down for the split second, so that's just more time. Again, they're just evened up. Really interesting to see how they changed it up just from the first match. First round, actually. They're still looking for the roamers, seeing if they went 3 instead of 2. Checking angles. All right,
What
Danny's
would be
going
a
to be
good
running
number of
site.
roamers? As we
Roamers
look
is
into
usually
those-
2 to 1, is what you want to definitely keep it on. For any map, you always just want 1
I
to
know
2
you had
and have
mentioned they
3
may be
anchors.
looking for a third roamer, so I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
3 could be something crazy that they could pull out or what.
Yeah, it's always something you could just have in your back pocket. If someone just running out of anchored and just try to push the people as they push in to take the bomb site, you just run out and see if you can get a pick or 2. But it looks like Champlain's just going to hold angles, hold sites, and Danny's trying to get rid of those mute traps through the floor with his IQ ability. Getting value from that. He's clearing the whole first floor as the rest of the BSU team holds the bomb site outside of it. All right, we hear the Habana opening up the bar.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
And when is a good time to start, you know, maybe, I don't know if panic's the right word, but when is a time that you want to leave yourself to be able to get to the bomb there, as it does look like Boise got another elimination. Danny, as you mentioned,
Danny
getting a
picking it
triple
up
kill
as they
this
were
round.
looking towards... Yeah, Danny, as they were looking towards that breach site, Danny just came right into the bar. Gets picked up by the Maestro. Ooh, Maestro gets the double.
10 seconds to go.
He's holding that angle really well behind the bar.
5 seconds remaining.
All right, it's evened up. He does not have diffuser. He has to plant or go for the elimination, and that will be a timeout for Boise. Champlain picking it up, holding out the defense.
So, what would a perfect round look like in terms of attacking? Like, how much time do you really want to have when you start pushing the bomb? Because we saw that Boise just ran out of time because they had to go get the diffuser. So, what would that sort of optimal attack game plan be? When would you want to start really heavily pushing the bomb?
Probably about the 30-second mark, just to try to give yourself the about 20 seconds of leeway to clean up any enemies that would be on the site, and then have the additional 10 second of planning in a good spot to where you can defend the diffuser as well. That is my personal of what I'd like to do. Usually about a minute, you definitely want to have site at least surrounded, just so you know there's no roamers out here. We know they're on site. Now we can execute a plan.
And as we look at the picks here, anything catching your eye from either team?
They went bandit this time, which tells me they're going to go more of a hold on site with the electricity, because Boise doesn't have anything to clear the electricity, the bandit traps that he sets down, unless Danny is going to go on the first floor and try to shoot him through the floor for his team. Yeah, with that shebang, it definitely gets rid of it.
Listen, are you shocked at all that they've stuck on second floor, or do you think we're just going to see second floor defense the entire time here from Champlain?
Second floor is an incredibly popular thing on this map. It's definitely the strongest to hold because it doesn't allow for an invade from, you know, the roof. There's no roof entrances on this map, so it's very much just hold the windows and we got this. And it looks like they're immediately going to barricade off master bedroom as well as bathroom. So that'll give them some more spots to hold. We see Valkyrie using her C4 to open up a rotation as well into Astral. Very common on this map.
I know you were saying that second floor is really easy for defense, so for the offensive side for Boise State, how do you attack second floor consistently? Because they had one really good round, and last time it came down to a 1v1, but they weren't able to get it. So how do you attack second floor effectively?
A lot of times you push in from the other site that they are not currently at. So that allows you to clear out both the red stairs, since they are no longer at that aviator site, and then it also gives them control of that side of the map, getting rid of all those roamers that Champlain could have. It's a very common thing of just, if there's 2 second floor sites, you take over that other one that they are not at, just to gain control of the map. And we see Gridlock immediately holding off that hallway from stairs, denying the roamers unless they shoot her traps or they will take damage. Boise State holding angles. Gridlock looking for the cheeky peek that Champlain learned from the first round that they will not do. Sherb pushing in match, knows there's a guy there. He's looking for it, looking for the peek. Alright. And we see two of Boise State members also pushing into the master bedroom where they walled off, so that will give them a free push through as well. Sherb's going to pick up the first elimination as well. Oh, and a second one for Fox as well, as Champlain just pushing him. And a quick pickup for Danny as well, and Sherbs gets a second. Boise State quickly pushing onto the site, cleaning up against Champlain, leaving the last Champlain member as a roamer not on site. And he gets picked right off by Boise as they collapse on him.
So, give me your takeaways through 3 rounds, Brenner Bears. We are watching Boise State versus Champlain here in Rainbow Six Siege. We've had 2 flawless rounds for Boise State, and then the only round they've lost, it came down to where they just didn't plant in time. So is it Boise State really that sort of dominant on offense, or is it just maybe Champlain hasn't been putting themselves in the right rotation to lose 2 rounds with flawless losses?
I think Champlain has definitely shown an interesting strat so far with them just holding angles and then just letting Boise push right through them. They aren't really holding their angles. They're spending a lot of time on cams, whereas Boise is just pushing it onto site, getting their first 2 picks, and just allowing them to get right into site and get down to business. And they definitely learned a lot from that round that they lost. Is just we need more time, so we need to play more aggressive, and they definitely have been. And Champlain's going to switch out that Legion for the Mute to deny Boise's constant drone action of scouting.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
Now, I
bombs
know
as
there
they
are
can.
static bomb sites. It's not like it changes every game. So I know the game will tell us, oh, Boise State found site A, Boise State found site B. But when you're attacking, do you sort of have a good idea of where the bomb is since you know there's only so many spots it can be at? Or is it when it's discovered you actually kind of are knowing exactly where it is?
No, there's very much just fixed number of sites. So if they're like, oh, they're on 2nd floor and they're not at this site, they are definitively here. So let's just position our drones in a space to where we know they might rotate here or a roamer might run through here. So Boise immediately notices, all right, they're in this side of the building. How can we attack this?
5 seconds remaining.
So it's
We see
not
there
as
are
big a deal as you see when Boise State discovered Site A. It's not as big a deal as you might think because they basically already knew where the bomb was. It's just they kind of officially know in terms of the game, right?
Yeah, the main perk of scouting at that point was just to see which defenders are you up against. And Champlain once again going 3 roamers here, which is definitely a risk for them as they've seen in the past from the 2 rounds that they have lost. They have no one. They have 2 anchoring, 1 in Nashville, 1 in bedroom. And we're going to see 1 just fall off the roof and go down. All right. Boise State, just a slight hiccup there. Quick pickup and back to it.
I was just still laughing at the fact that somebody fell off the roof. And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
shout out to the realism at least that you can't just fall off a roof and just keep trucking.
Yeah, he's now going to be down to 20 health, so that is a quick 1-tap waiting to happen. We're going to see they scout that Vigil out and see him get picked right off. Alright, they're checking in bar. They scout a person in vault. We have 2 of them collapse, and Danny quickly picks him out of vault as they push towards site. With the last 3 remaining people of Champlain holding close to site, waiting for Boise to push in. We see Danny quickly go into A-bomb, looking for if anyone's holding it, but it seems to he has control of it. And Belk is downed.
I was going to ask you here real quickly, but I think I might have answered my own question. I was going to ask you how Champlain could come out from that, but before I could even get
They
that
just
out,
got rolled right over.
Yeah, they got rolled right over. Another flawless for Boise State. So let's look ahead a little bit here. Is there anything Boise State can learn with how Champlain defends with how they might attack? Because Boise State's going to have to defend. So is there anything they can take away from how a team defends on how they might attack, or is it just way too far in advance to think about?
I definitely think it's not a bad thing to start thinking about with how aggressive Boise's been playing and how much they've just been dominating this matchup so far. I wouldn't be surprised if they go with the 3 roamers just to play a bit more aggressive against Champlain, because Champlain has not been good with the aggressiveness so far. So that is definitely something they would be thinking about right now. And Boise's actually going to go with the Montang, who's a bit of a slow push, but he's definitely a hard counter to all of their roamers that they've been running. Because he's got that full barrier shield that blocks everything.
And then talk us a little bit about these bomb sites. I know you said second floor is the easiest, but the Champlain hasn't had much luck, if any, defending it, so they're going to go first floor. So kind of walk us through what it's like with the first floor defense here on the bomb sites.
The first floor is definitely a lot, I would personally say, harder to hold, simply because they have those hatches to now defend, where Boise can push through the second floor and then have the vertical advantage against Champlain. But it looks like they are going to just hard hold right here with both Decade to just electrify it up and the Goyo, who puts down shields that explode into fire when you shoot them. So they're very much going for a hard hold rather than the typical 3 roamers that we saw last round.
10 seconds left.
And you're talking about the roamers. Obviously, it's easy when you're on the second floor. You roam below you. Where do you roam when you're on a first floor defense? Do you roam above or do you roam below?
You would definitely roam above to hold the power of the hatches. The verticality is a huge deal, but we're actually going to see Mozzie go into the basement of the villa and see if any of the Boise State members are in the basement. There are actually 2 roamers in the basement. Not the best idea, but we'll see if it pulls out for Champlain.
Well, we will have to see. I am curious to see how Champlain can turn this around. So I would ask you, Brenner Bear, what would you do if you're Champlain? How would you sort of fix what's been happening? Because we've had 3 flawless rounds out of 4, so clearly they have not been as close as they would like.
Yeah, so one thing I would do if I were Champlain was actually move your roamers to the second floor, because you know Boise, with their aggressiveness, is going to go straight for those bomb sites as they are. You can see right here, Sherb is looking on that site already from the second floor, looking for a quick pick to just shift the odds in Boise's favor. We see them opening up the roof as well, as the one lone member of Champlain is holding off the site by himself.
Bomb located.
And they quickly scout him out, so we'll see if he rotates out of there or continues to hold. Champlain also looking for rotations for Boise State to get a pick, to just push the odds a little bit in their favor.
So quickly, kind of talk us through what you mean when you say a rotation, because I know in some games, like Rocket League, it's kind of set rotation. So what is a rotation look like in Rainbow Six?
So a rotation into Rainbow Six would be like if someone was second floor and then they'd quickly run to basement to try to get someone through the floor. And so if you're holding stairs, you look for that rotation and you could get a quick pick there. It could also be just running between the 2 top floor sites, so just watching hallways and looking for a rotation there as well. Now we see the Montag directly looking at an enemy on site, with that enemy being able to do nothing against him. So it's just more vision for Boise State. And we see one get immediately flashed by his team. Boise State just has power over this site. You're going to see Danny rotating to the first floor. We're going to see this Mute try to push onto that Monty, who planted the diffuser on the A-bomb. This puts a lot of pressure on Champlain as they lose a quick member to Fox. And they lose one more. So it looks like Boise State has this site as Fox goes down to one of the members of Champlain. So this leaves down to Mozzie and one other member, Champlain. We'll see if they can push in and take it. Mozzie's down to Danny, I believe. Yep. Alright, looks like Boise State has this unless Champlain can pull out a 3v1. There's one down. He has to locate that diffuser, and he's down.
Boise State doing a really good job taking that 4-1 lead, and I will say, we haven't really seen this the first round. We've seen the diffuser planted, so I want your opinion, Brenner Bear. Is it easier as attackers to just try and get all 5 eliminations, or is it easier to plant the diffuser and then defend it?
With the way Boise's been playing, they've definitely been going the elimination route, but once they picked that Monty, I wasn't surprised that they went for the diffuser, because they had that smoke and the Monty full shield that Champlain just couldn't push through, so that allowed them to just get the plan off. After they picked off the first 3 members of Champlain, they knew they had site control, so they went for it.
So, Brother Bear, why don't you talk us through maybe about win conditions? Let's look for Boise State right now. Just when you see this team, what is the win condition, at least from when you see the operators they picked? What do you think they're going for with this team?
So I think they're going to go pretty much the same play they just did, with the Monty going in for the hard push one side and them just taking over control of the other half of the map, getting rid of those roamers, and just being like, all right, the remaining members are here, here, and here. How can we attack this now that we have the advantage? And that Monty definitely will give them that advantage, with Champlain having no way to counter that Monty with his full shield, taking no damage from his front, and just getting a ton of scout value. And we also see Champlain go with the Ella now, with her concussion mines, and see if that will disrupt the Boise State aggressiveness at all.
5 seconds to insertion.
And I know you're talking a lot about Monty with the shield. He's sort of that win condition for Boise State. Let's say he is taken down. Maybe he makes a misplay. How does that change the Boise State win condition? Do they have to then go on the full offensive since they sort of lose that that front line there, or do they just still stick with the same plan? They just have to do it without the Monty.
I wouldn't be surprised if they swapped into full elimination mode rather than we're just going to push site, plant, and get out. They would definitely go full elimination without that Monty, because Monty is the slowest of their team, so he could not go full elimination mode. But if he was eliminated, that'd be a huge win for Champlain there, because he would definitely have the diffuser, but he does not. They're pushing into right outside of B, where is Aviator, and it looks like Champlain has 3 anchors and 2 roamers. Let's see what plays out. Monty's going in, pushing hard. He's getting tickled by that Maestro Evil Eye Cam. We're going to quickly take that out. Deny the scouting. We're going to see Fox shooting through the floor, trying to get a easy pick on Champlain, but they're smarter than that. So they're going to stick away from that little hole in the floor. We see Boise looking down the hallway. Oh, sorry, Champlain. Maestro pushing, seeing if he can't get in mid-rotation. He sees that Monty, and he takes him down. All right, so that should swap over Boise's, as they are even right now, both down 1.
Man, as you were saying earlier, Brenner, I think with the Monty down, you think Boise State might go a little bit more heavy on just eliminations instead of planning the diffuser?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I start seeing them play a little bit more aggressive, try to start pushing the site. They do have a minute 20 left, so that's something to keep in mind, because time flies, especially in Rainbow when you're just crouch walking everywhere.
Yeah, it is a slower paced game, as we are going to get Danny, unfortunately, going to go down, because it is one of those games where their footsteps matter. Any extra sound you make is just going to give away your position, right?
And we see 2 roamers actually pushing the hallway together, looking for Fox, who they know is first floor. They scout him out. 1 roamer down, but Champlain manages to take out Fox. So they know they have control of first floor because they scouted it out. But they get the plant off. So now they will hold site. So now the defenders are the attackers.
I was going to say, yeah, they had control of first floor, but the only problem was the bomb was on the second floor. That seemed a little backwards for me, for Champlain to take a floor that the bomb wasn't on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that they did that because they knew that Fox was first floor with his super shorty on gridlock, shooting through the floor, allowing the scout on the bomb. So once they cleared that out, they gave them the insurance that they could push bomb site and not get shot through the floor. They take the round. That Monty pick really helped them out.
Yeah, it did look like, unfortunately for Boise State, the Monty just got picked on the edge of his shield. So now they'll flip sides. So what are you expecting from Boise State here? Do you think they'll take anything away from how Champlain defended, or do you think the Broncos might go with their own game plan?
I wouldn't be surprised if they go for their own game plan here. I definitely want to see what Champlain's attack looks like. They're going to go for a double hard breacher with the Maverick and Hibana. Maverick's a very slower hard breacher compared to Hibana's more explosive entrance. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out, both with the Nomad to counter those roamers that Boise might be playing with. And Boise's also going to pick up that Cade to have that electricity to kind of counter those hard breaches.
So just looking at the side of Champlain there, what do you think their win condition is on offense right now?
I would say their win condition is definitely keeping either the Maverick or Hibana alive so they can push site reliably, as well as their IQ picking off those Cade gadgets of electrifying the walls. Because if she can do that through the floor, that will guarantee Champlain's entrance into bomb site. So I would say definitely IQ and Hibana, maybe even Maverick, would be the keys to Champlain's win here. Whereas Boise would definitely just be roaming and trying to get a pick or two before Champlain can execute that plan. We're going to see Sherb looking out for drones.
Speaking of roamers, how many roamers do you think we'll see from Boise State here?
I would hope at least 2, just because with how aggressive they've been playing and that strategy has been winning for them, just keep playing to that win condition for them of their aggressiveness that Champlain has not yet been able to address. We're going to see Sherb looking for the outside run-out pick, and he's going to get it. So that aggressiveness for BSU paying off for them once again. So Champlain's going to play on their back foot as well, with down a member.
Yeah, how was that pick going to change their attack, especially a pick like that so early into the round? And since Boise State's member was outside, it really doesn't give away his position like a normal pick would.
Mm-hmm. So it would definitely change their playstyle because I believe he picked off the IQ, so that denies their ability to destroy those Cades through the floors as well. And we see Mozzie being just assaulted by this Sophia, but he's going to quick get that pick on the Sophia as Nomad uses one of her traps, and he's going to run out and clean up 3 members of Champagne and take the round for his team. Fox playing amazingly on that round. Yeah,
really good job by Fox. So well, let's look on Champlain's side here because they are definitely the ones who need to win now. What do they need to do? I mean, I guess let's start. How do you protect yourself from that early sort of outside pick that Boise State got?
Definitely just watching windows for sure. When that Sophia pushed in and didn't get pick on the Mozzie, they should have instantly turned to that window and looked for the run out. But they just kept watching Master Bedroom, which I think cost them the win there.
And it looks like, at least for now, Champlain's running back with the same comp. Are you surprised, or you think just because of how crazy that round was, how quick it was, they really didn't get a chance to set up maybe what they wanted to do?
I definitely think that's the case. They just got picked off right away, and they didn't have a chance to execute their plan, so they're going to try running it again, whereas Boise's going to swap out that Mozzie for a Pulse and try to scout him out through the walls. And Mozzie's still Fox. Sorry, Danny swapped out.
So I guess since we already know Champlain's win condition, it hasn't changed, does the swap for Boise State change their win condition at all?
No, it's just still very much getting the early picks on just them entering sites, getting the Boise State's roamers, just looking for early elimination for sure. I'm going around in circles, but it's okay.
Are you noticing anything different by the Boise State defense setup here? Does it look sort of similar to what we saw last round, even though I know last round was extremely quick?
Yeah, last round was very fast, and we're going to see Danny actually in the basement in case they decide to enter through there. And also, I believe they are on a different site, so they will be a different hold as well. And well, curious to see if Champlain still goes for that master bedroom just because it is so close to the bomb site for Boise State. Champlain, sorry. Speaking a bit too fast for myself.
Oh. We've all been there. Looks like almost a near pick on to a member of Champlain. Grooven taken low, but this time he actually is able to survive the early pick that time for the Beavers.
Yeah, and he's instantly going to barricade that door, denying Boise that sight line unless they break it through, which just tells Boise, hey, they're coming through this door. And we see Champlain playing quite slow here as they're just looking out for Boise's roamers, knowing that they are very much close to the win condition for them. And looks like Danny's actually going to spot them right above Kitchen, which will help out Boise quite well, knowing where Champlain is coming from.
Bomb located by attackers.
Talk us through a little bit while we sort of wait with Champlain there about the communication. How quickly do you have to communicate in this game for callouts like that? Because everything is so precise in this game. If you're all wrong by an inch, it might be the difference between life or death.
It is very fast-paced, a lot like Overwatch. You just want to call it out once or twice, keep comms quiet so you can hear those footsteps if someone decides to push you as well. And we see that Zofia just push Fox once again in the exact same room and just get taken out, and Fox looking for the outside pick once again. Again, communication is always key, so having just vision control and everything is a huge benefit for Boise State as they have been dominant in this match.
And if we drop down under a minute, now with 3 members left, what does Champlain have right now as a chance besides any sort of miracle?
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Well, as we see, Boise actually just gets the diffuser, so Champlain's is definitely going to have to pull out a miracle here as they just get taken out. Another flawless round for Boise State, who are just playing impeccably right now.
Yeah, Boise State's been doing a great job here. This should put them on match point if my understanding of this game is correct. So, how can Champlain just adapt? Do they need to just scrap everything and try something new? Because it really feels like whatever game plan they had coming into this match just has been an absolute disaster. I think we've seen 3 or 4 flawless rounds, which to me screams you need to change something in a hurry.
Yeah, and they're still picking that Zofia, which is really surprising. I think they've just been playing very split. They're not pushing through the same window as a team. And if they definitely have that presence of, hey, we're going to push through this together and have that presence here, it will definitely make Boise back off a little bit. And I think that that's something they should definitely pursue. And we're going to see Champlain actually take both the Blackbeard and Monty here. So it seems like they're going to do exactly that.
And what about for Boise State? As I say, they seem like they're running a whole new comp as well. So what do you think they're expecting from Champlain?
They're probably expecting exactly that. They're expecting the swap up because it's match point. It's very high stress right now for both teams, as we can either win this or we can get our foot into the race for it for Champlain. So I would not be surprised if they expect the full slow push as they go for the plant rather than just the eliminations Boise has been pressuring on them.
Are you
especially
shocked
with
that
those
Boise
yo-yo
State?
traps?
Are you shocked that Boise State picked the first floor? I know you talked about how second floor you really like on this map. Are you shocked the Broncos went with first floor here on match point for the bomb sites?
A little bit, but with how Champlain's been playing and how Boise's been dealing with them, I am interested to see how they hold the first floor site in both kitchen, because Goyo definitely denies the doorway traps unless you destroy his shields, but then that would create the fire, which just denies that doorway for a small amount of time. So it's definitely the anti-hard breaching that Champlain's going for, so I say this is going to be a very good matchup for both teams here. And it looks like Sherb's going to get a quick pick onto Champlain as well. Pick that too. Again, Champlain not looking for that run out from Boise State that they've been doing all game.
Yeah, and I know that if a defender leaves the building, as you kind of saw there, it'll eventually give you away. So is those sort of outside building rushes something a team should expect, or is that just Boise State maybe being a little bit sneakier than maybe Champlain was ready for?
I think after they did it maybe the first or second time, Champlain should start planning for it, definitely. But the fact that they were not looking windows, they were just running towards site, they should have just, at that point, rotated faster than they have been.
And I know with Boise State, you talked about with the Monty there that their whole plan was to plant. Does that change? Well, I was going to say if it changed with the Monty still alive and 2 members down, but now I think that completely changes with Monty going down for Champlain. They have to go all in on eliminations, right?
Yeah, they practically do, or they take control of one of the sites with just 2 members remaining. But we're going to actually see Boise State die to their own trap as Champlain activates that Goyo and just burns him down. So we see Champlain playing quite slow now, just looking at the angles as Boise State is holding him, waiting for the peek from Champlain, as he knows the diffuser was right outside that window on the Monty. Champlain's droning it out, looking for where the members are, trying to clear out at least one site so they can push into it. We're going to see their Sophia slowly look towards A, see if they can't spot a member of our BSU squad.
And I see that the Sophia is really low, but in a game where it's one-shot, headshot, does the health bars really matter as much as in other games?
They definitely matter, 100%. So if you're lower and you just get barely like shot in the foot, you're down. And so that's a big deal for both teams, whereas if you are full health, you just won't take anything. And Boise also had that Maestro, the Evil Eye, which does very little damage, but if you're low health, it will just take you right down. And Boise's going to take that win. Sure, MVP of the match. He died to his own teammates' fire.
Saw there Boise State with really the first decisive win I've seen. I know we've seen a lot of overtime games with this, but the Broncos beating Champlain 7-2 there in Rainbow Six Siege. It is Fish and Brenner Bear on the cast today, changing it up on a Friday. So you're the experienced one here. Just take us through what you saw in that first match overall. I mean, was that just Boise State really just sort of flexing their muscle, or do you think they just maybe had a better strategy than Champlain?
I think they were definitely flexing towards the later matches with their aggression. They played really well with their aggressiveness and the early picks from the runouts of both the Doc onto Champlain, not looking for those runouts. They definitely just started flexing towards the end, and once they knew that they had the numbers advantage, they hold angles and won the round and the game.
Yeah, Doc is telling us Doc's OP, which, I mean, of course Doc's going to look Doc. It's, copyright thing.
Doc's OP. He
I don't know,
can heal himself. He's just ridiculous.
I'm waiting for the Doc skin of Doc, but, I don't know if that will come anytime soon.
That would be an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, that would. So I guess while we have this downtime, of course, I'm new into Rainbow Six, going to start playing it a lot this weekend. So, as a new player, what's the first thing I need to know going into this game, Brenner Bear? What's the first skill I need to master to have any sort of hope?
Definitely click heads. Clicking heads helps a lot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
As in any game that's a first-person shooter, you always got to click the head. Next one would probably be finding the character you love the ability for and how that complements your team. So, for me personally, it was Blitz as my first character. And he has a flashbang essentially as his shield. So he pushes in flashes, just keeps pushing. He can run with his shield. It was super strong. And so I learned how to play that with every character in the game and just how to counter people with that. So it would definitely be find your character, play it, click the heads.
I can do two of those things. The click the heads part is a part that definitely might throw me off there. And I will say, how similar is it to a game like Overwatch? I know it's a game you play, it's a game I play a bit more. Is there any sort of similarity besides clicking heads, obviously?
Team composition is definitely a thing to remember. Same with map awareness and just map knowledge at that point, because Boise State and Champlain both showed really well map knowledge for that. And map knowledge in Rainbow Six is a huge deal, with every map being totally different than the last. Knowing where the bomb sites, and without even scouting the bombs, just be like, hey, they're here. All right, how do we attack this now? Is a big deal, as we see in Overwatch as well.
You're just making me more and more nervous for the first game I boot up this weekend, and I feel like I'm just going to get flamed by everyone for being so bad.
No.
I feel like I'm already nervous.
Now, we have versus AI, so you can just get some practice on there as well, rather than jump into a quick match and just have everybody be like, why are you just standing there?
As we roll into our second round here, Boise State taking on Champlain. It is the best of 3 overall, so Boise State is on match point. They could take the overall match here. Of course, we know they won round 1. So, are you looking for anything, I guess, on Champlain's side, Brenner? We talked about it a little bit. How fast can they really swap up a strategy, or is it sort of one of those things where when you have a strategy that you're good at, you just kind of got to stick with it and hope it works?
You could definitely do a quick switch depending on which members of your team are still alive. It's definitely situational at that point of just like, all right, who's alive? Who can execute this plan? Let's see if we can do it. All right, and we're going to see Boise State ban that Thatcher once again. Curious to see if Champlain goes for that thermite ban once again, or if they'll switch it out for a different map. Alright, they're going to swap it out to the Habana, who got a lot of value for both Boise and Champlain. See if they can get better value with that thermite now.
Is there anyone you would suggest either team ban here on the defensive side? Is there something that gave either team a problem you think they might take away?
Mozzie was definitely a problem for Champlain last time. Boise State played that Mozzie really well, but they're still going to ban that Mira because she gets way too much value on these maps, being able to just look through walls. So then Boise State, they didn't really have so many problems with defenders, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go the exact same ban they had last time with the Echo, but they're actually going to ban the Goyo out, who blocks the doorways with his fire bombs.
I'm guessing so that they don't eliminate each other would be my only guess.
Yeah, that too. That would be quite nice, that they don't burn the dock down once again, because no one wants to burn dock.
No, and so it did look like the map changed. I don't know if you saw it, but did you anything you want to give us for this map?
So Boise is going to go the most popular site on this map, Clubhouse, which is CCTV. It is the second floor site right next to the garage. It's a very infamous site for this map because everyone loves it and picks it. It is a very key on this map to hold the wall right outside of garage because that allows for a lot of peeking. But it looks like they're going to swap out their bandit for a Cade, possibly, or swap back, and then Champlain's actually going to swap from the Nomad to the IQ to try to scout their electricity. So I'm interested to see how this plays out for both sides.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So let's start with Champlain. What would you say is their win condition right now as the attackers?
I would say their win condition is definitely taking out both Boise's roamers, as they've been a huge key for Boise State's win condition here, and also playing closer together. They've been playing very split so far, and they just get picked off by those roamers, unable to beat them in the 1v1s that they've been having. And also just holding angles and playing a little bit faster, actually. They've been playing pretty slow, and Boise's just been able to pick them off as they haven't been utilizing their speed that they have. So that's something I would definitely want to see if Champlain is able to adapt to or not. We're going to see Boise State looking for those picks once again, looking towards where Champlain spawns and see if they can't get any value with both the dock once again. Hopefully he won't get burned alive.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
And Fox gets that quick pick onto Champlain. Looking for one more. Got his leg a little bit, so he's going to be wounded. As is Fox, but he can get healed by that Doc. But Doc gets picked there as he was peeking a little bit too long.
Now, I know in that elimination, Boise State got the diffuser. Is that any sort of value, or since he was so far away, that it's not as easy to camp the diffuser as, say, if he had died inside the building?
It is not easy to camp at all. They're right by their spawn. They have cover advantage as well. We're going to see Champlain also use their Maverick to open up right above the site, and we're going to see the Cade looking towards it as well, with Valk about to throw her C4 through it and see if she can't get any value. But she's going to watch stairs as Champlain gets a quick pick onto Fox. Just, they're up in numbers now. It's the 4-2-3. Looking to get that Maverick, get his little beatsies. And Champlain opens that wall, but they get diffuser, so they know it's right there, and they can hold that angle.
Bomb located by
As the Maverick is up above, looking to get some revenge.
Attackers have located a bomb.
And I guess I would ask really quickly, while it isn't 3v3, is it just sort of everything reset, or do you think a certain team has an advantage even though they are even in numbers?
I would say Boise has the advantage here because they have eyes on diffuser, so in case Champlain wants to pick it up, they can see it, but they pick it up after they get rid of that peeker, the Cade, who is watching diffuser for them. So now Boise is just waiting to hear if they go for the plant or not, as they have both members watching the site where they pushed in.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
But we see Champlain actually clearing out the whole first floor so they know they have that held off with no roamers. We're going to see Champlain taken out with Boise in a 2v1 situation unless he is able to get his buddy up, as well as Diffuser.
So how does Champlain
he's
win
gonna be
this, I guess,
scouted
really
out.
quickly?
Definitely, if he can pick off one of the members of Boise State, then it would be a 1v1, and they are both full health here. So it would definitely be an interesting matchup, as he is not looking for those angles, and Danny and Juco managed to hold them off, as he was not looking at the top of the stairs, just the end of them. And he just looks right over, gets the quick elim.
As we go into round 2, I guess the question becomes, Bear, at what point does Champlain, I guess, handle the start of the game better? Because I know we've seen them gone too slow and they've got eliminated. They've also got eliminated maybe for going a little too quick on those early picks. So how does Champlain just avoid being picked off early?
Personal opinion would be actually spawning not at warehouse where most of the members are, because they got picked their last site. They were able to pick off Sherb as well, but they still lost their first member. So rather than going warehouse where they know they could get peeked, or if they expect the peek better and aim for it, they could get it. So it definitely comes down to, if we get peeked, how can we better ourselves to not let that happen?
And as we look at the teams here with a couple of the 6 picks coming out, what are you, let's start with Boise State. What are you seeing from Boise State's side?
They went with the Pulse to look out for their IQ roamer that they ran last round from Champlain. So it looks like Danny's definitely going to stick with his roaming capabilities, and they're going to go with the Rook armor as well, which gives them more sustainability outside of the site with no dock around to give them a quick pick-me-up. We're going to see Boise State also reinforce the old site as well in cache, which is the green room Danny is in right now, to just block off those red stairs and deny that sight line from Champlain.
10 seconds to insertion.
And then it looks like Champlain's running the Monty again. How do you think they can do it a little better last time? Because last time they ran it, they actually lost 2 members really early. So how can they, I know Monty can't move very fast, but how can they be a little bit quicker to not get picked off the spawn?
So I would definitely have Monty go out first and see if he gets shot at all, or if he can spot somebody looking through the window. We're going to see Champlain actually go to the side site and not go warehouse and deny that peek. But we're going to see Danny looking for the peek with his pulse gadget, able to see their heartbeats through the walls within a 20-meter radius. Less than 20, sorry. He's looking for that in the strip club of the site, but he does not see the member behind him, but he does see them above him, so he's able to call that out for his team in club. As we see one member of Champlain.
And how would you rate Champlain's? I was saying, how would you rate Champlain's early attack here? They finally didn't lose a member, but I obviously know they're going a little slower with the Monty. So how would you rate this start for Champlain?
I would rate it very good for them. They've been definitely aware of all of the peek holes that Boise could be looking through. They're going with the same Maverick strat of destroying both walls as well, as they look to see if there's any Cade that is with his electricity traps, but they managed to spot one of them as they try to get it through the wall there. As Maverick continues to do that, and we're going to see the Cade also watching that wall as they can hear him blow-torching through the wall, and Monty is just outside looking to see if anyone comes out to peek them. So I understand the Monty pick here now.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
He's looking for through the peek hole that he just made.
Deploying sensor.
Champlain unable to find that Cade, but they want to open up that wall for sure onto the B site.
And as we keep down under a minute, at what point does Champlain maybe have to start moving a little quickly here?
Probably right about now, as they get that quick pick onto Juco, which evens up the score for both sides. Actually, Champagne is up 1 right now. So they can start pushing side as they know someone is in cash and that Monty is pushing them hard. But Sherb able to get that quick Sophia, and he knows that one's hiding behind Monty. So he gets the Monty, which is a big pick for BSU.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
And he gets one onto Goyo as well, which quickly turns the tide into Boise's.
15 seconds
He gets a
left.
quad, actually. Ooh. But he is quickly taken out by the remaining member of Champlain, who is in the office. Champagne here, only 5 seconds, but gets taken out as Boise pushes it.
So I have to say, Brenner Bear, you have to walk us through what went wrong for Champlain, because it went from being up 5-4 to, I believe that was Sherb picking up a quad kill for Boise State. So how did everything flip so quickly, and what did Champlain maybe do wrong there?
I think the mistake there was Zofia going for the pick by herself in the giant opening, allowing Sherb to get the quick pick there, and then also Monty taking down his full shield to try to defend himself, but he gets picked off right away because that is muscle memory of just knowing where Monty's head is once he takes that shield down to aim. So I think it was Champlain just playing a bit too aggressive at that point of just Zofia peeking Sherb and then Monty trying to do it himself, as he should have let his teammate defend him. Because he also had diffuser at that point.
So walk us through what Champlain, I guess the optimal round, because you said how you thought they did a really good job early, they got that pick. So where do you think they made the mistake where they went from doing really well to maybe going a little bit too slow and having to panic?
I think their problem there was they spent too much time looking for that K-trap on the wall with the Maverick. At that point, if they're like, hey, we cannot get this, we have to rotate around and just execute a new plan. I think they took way too long on that one wall and should have rotated sooner.
And as we do see there, Boise State with the basement bombs now. So why don't you walk us through here the basic strategy Boise State's going to employ here to try and defend this?
It would definitely be one, defending the hatches in bar, as well as making sure you hold blue room, which is right under garage. It's very common to push garage and just take the whole blue hallway, but with how Champagne's been playing lately, I wouldn't be surprised if they go through kitchen, which is right above the B-bomb site, as Boise State is actually only holding the basement floor right now. They have no roamers on the first floor, so they're very much waiting to see what Champlain's play is.
And do you agree with that? I know from Champlain, we haven't seen them have the most success with roamers. So do you think Boise State's going to, as a smart plan here, to not go with any roamers and just sort of heavily fortify the basement?
I'm interested by it. It is not something personally I would do, because I enjoy having the roamer security of just like, hey, we know where they are first floor because I'm up here. But Boise State is playing very much close to home, waiting for Champlain to push through, but Champlain actually has that Monty now. So if they do decide to push, they have to find a way to deal with that Monty, who is currently pushing in blue hallway, and I think they scouted him out too. We're going to see that Capitao also right above, shooting his fire with his crossbow as well, as they know at least one guy is in that room. You get the Claymore placed down as well, so Boise knows there's enemies down that tunnel.
And so we know what
really good so far.
Let's say with the Monty, we kind of have the idea that Champlain's win condition here is to sort of eventually go into the bomb room and plan it. For Boise State, I mean, I know obviously it's hold the bomb, but what would you say the Broncos' win condition is?
I would say the Broncos' win condition is definitely holding your angles and being aware of where the enemy could be looking at you from. So there we see Sherb getting picked off because he was not looking to his left. He was waiting for the Monty to push his right. And then we quickly see the Mozzie get eliminated by the Thermite from angles. So right now, Boise State is down 2 members to Champlain's full 5 team. They quickly even it out by getting 1 elimination onto Champlain. And they're going to get the Monty as well. That is a huge pick for Boise State, as that Monty was the key to Champlain's plan. Boise once again playing very aggressive and just answering to Champlain's slow play style with the Monty. Boise State takes the round.
It really feels like that Champlain just... It just feels like they maybe are going with Monty because they think he's safe, but maybe their play style doesn't go with him. Are you shocked that they've stuck with the Monty so many times, even though it hasn't yet worked for them?
I'm shocked that when they play with him, he plays kind of separate from the team, rather than like they're behind him and he pushes forward so that he can scout them out and then their team can collapse on that enemy. We're going to see Boise actually take the Clash as well, which is essentially a defender Monty who can also electrocute you and slow you. So I'm very interested to see what Champlain decides to go with, if they stick with the Monty or not. And they do.
I mean, I know my knowledge in this game nearly isn't as high as yours, Brenner Bear, but it just feels like this Monty pick is like a forced pick by Champlain. It just feels like it's almost like, hey, this guy is like really high on the tier list, so we're just going to pick him. I guess they'll swap off it, but it just felt like it never worked, as you were kind of talking about. So now that they've swapped off it, do you think that changes their win condition now?
It definitely does. They went double hard breacher here with both the Maverick and the Thermite, so I'm interested to see how they attack this site as Boise State went to CCTV once again. But last time we saw Champlain also take out that wall that Chuko is currently reinforcing with the Maverick. So if they manage to get through that wall once again, I'm curious to see what they plan to do with it without having that Monty shield to hold it off.
And I would ask, I know we might need to wait just a little bit for Boise State to fully set up, but how would you attack this Boise State defense if you're Champlain? What would be your mode of attack here based on how you're seeing Boise State set up? Maybe where are some weak points that you think they could be targeted?
Definitely from the other second story site of Master Bedroom. That is a point that they don't have any presence at all right now. And then they could also push in from the first floor red stairs where their Mozzie is currently. I say if they split push from those two sides and collapse onto Boise, who are they currently holding garage, I'm interested to see if Boise State can hold off against that push, assuming they don't get picked off rotating around to it. But it looks like Champlain's going to go for that wall once again, as no Boise State member is actually looking at it right now. We're going to see the Jaeger also looking at the other site, roaming around trying to hold control of it. And he gets picked right off. That's very good for Champlain as they take this other site, able to give them a little bit map control and some pressure onto Boise State.
So what does Boise State need to do here now that they're down a member? How quickly do they need to get a pick or reset here to kind of even things out?
I wouldn't say they need to play quick at all, simply because they are defending and there's still 2 minutes left in the round, which is a long time as well for both the defenders and attackers at the moment. They do have that Clash watching the door as well, which gives them a lot of sustainability in this fight. We're going to see the C4 come out as well, trying to get a pick on the people just outside the ledge, but it gets no value other than a little bit of damage there. Once again, Clash is looking towards that master bedroom in case they did decide to push through there like I mentioned earlier, and they are. But he is going to manage to take out the teammate behind the Clash, the Cade there. That puts Champlain up 2 to Boise's 3.
So I have to say now with Boise State down 2, what can they do? I guess they get a pick there, but how can they hold on in a 3v4?
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Definitely denying the plant and denying that Sophia able to push through onto site and maybe get another pick on for the Boise State members. Because they have that Clash denying the entire doorway, which doesn't allow them to push through as well. And they open up that side wall, and Sherb is able to take out the Sophia. Champlain's definitely on their back foot now, and they get picked off from a member of Boise State who ran out.
So
he was just
where do you
surrounded
think
on all sides.
Where do you think things have gone wrong for Champlain? Because it really feels like maybe the first minute, maybe even minute and a half, things go well, and then right when we hit that minute mark, everything just goes south. Is that just Boise State staying cool and you know, even in the face of adversity, or do you think Champlain is maybe making a couple mistakes in that final minute?
I think it's both because Champlain is losing map control once they push to bomb site. They stop watching behind them and they just start focusing on what's in front of them. And I think that's been costing them a lot. So it definitely comes down to that map awareness and where the enemy team is, and having vision control as well.
Well, it doesn't
It looks
look
like during
like
this
they
draft,
have... Oh, go
they're
ahead.
swapping to the Fuse, and they have the Dokkaebi now. So Dokkaebi will be able to ping the enemy team wherever they are, and then the Fuse will be able to grenade that area and evacuate some of those BSU members from that area if they are able to take it.
Now, that sounds really strong to me. So how does Boise State handle
Defenders,
that?
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It would definitely be, after they clear the area, see where the grenade came from, and hold that angle if they push through it. That is definitely something to watch for. As we see Boise State set up there, doing the same setup as they did last time they were at this site. Curious if they still go with the one roamer that they had last time, or if they decide to go with some more. We're going to see Castle also using his castle walls on the windows to deny
10 seconds left.
Champlain that sightline unless they blow it up, which would give away their position.
5 seconds to insertion.
He's going to
So-
hold down all B site.
Similar to last time, where are the weaknesses in the Boise State defense? Where could Champlain attack them that might allow Champlain to pick up their first win this round?
I would say getting rid of the Pulse Roamer, who's able to scout them out as they go to the roof, because he can see them for a certain distance based off their hearts. So if they are able to take away that vision that Boise State has, as well as hack his phone with Dokkaebi, which allows the attackers access to the defenders' cams, that would give Champlain the vision they need to take the site and find out where the enemy is hiding.
Bomb has been located.
Torch ready!
We see Champlain going for the exact same strat they were last time, pinging it out as well, looking for that cage trap that they had there last time.
So this would lead me to ask, in Rainbow Six, is it better to run the same strat that you're comfortable with, or at some point do you run something you're a little more uncomfortable on just to be more uncertain and maybe keep Boise State off guard? Because as you mentioned, they kind of keep going the same way, so Boise State should have a good idea of where they're going.
I think it definitely comes down to the players, because if you can play someone really well and you're getting value out of that character, there wouldn't be a need to switch. But at the same time, if you're not getting value, the strategy you're running is constantly failing. I would say you should take the risk and swap it out, and it might work. And we see the Dokkaebi pinging their phones to see if they can get a roamer while they are caught out, and we see the roamers immediately back out.
So I guess the question then
Champlain's still
becomes,
putting the
User.
And
My
he
follow-up-
gets picked by that Cade.
that's what my follow-up was going to be. Do you think Champlain's getting good value out of this strategy? I mean, I know obviously they lost a member, but do you think they're getting enough value to keep running it back?
I do not. They keep pushing the same wall over and over, which allows Boise just to adapt to them and say, all right, how can we defend this better since they're only going to push this wall? So I think Champlain definitely needs to change it up more than they have been.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
So I guess
It's
now my
quickly
question
turned to
becomes,
a
how much
5.
can you change it up? How much can you change it up down 5 to 2 would be my first question.
You can't. It's very hard at that point because it becomes a 5v2, so unless you just pull off the amazing ace that we have yet to see from either side, or they just completely go unexpected and yet they are not. Boise State just simply outplaying the Champlain team, expecting all of their moves at the moment as they just continue to push the same side after Boise has proven that they cannot push through.
Now, I know we've talked about how Rainbow Six is definitely, it's a very tactical game. You have to do a lot of crouching, a lot of precise angles and precise movements. So what's the best way to be unpredictable, I guess? Because it's not like a more fast-paced FPS where you can just sort of rush right at them and maybe catch them off guard. So how do you play with this maybe sort of reckless abandon Champlain might need, but still play smartly in terms of Rainbow Six?
It'd probably come down to Good question.
As me, as someone who plays like a lot more Call of Duty, I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm just gonna rush you, and if all 5 of us rush you, you might get one, but we should be able to get you. But I obviously understand that is completely probably the noobest thing you can do in this game because all the sight lines. So I'm trying to wonder of how Champlain can sort of do this unpredictable strategy, but still play in a tactical way, and that's kind of where I keep getting lost because it feels like anytime there's a tactical fight, it is almost always gone Boise State's way.
And I think that just says a lot to Boise State's both teamwork and tactical play of just they have grinded out their strategies and how to counter certain ops on the opposite side of them. And so they've just definitely known how to deal with, say, the enemy team went with the Monty. Okay, he's going to go this direction. Can we have someone behind him to get him in the back? Or how can we counter him in this way? So I'm very interested in how Champlain decides, okay, they've been countering us every which way. What can we do to deny that? So they're going to actually run the Jackal, which tracks footprints of where people have previously been. So maybe they're going to just full anti-roamer to gain control of the top sites so they're able to decide when and where they engage. But so far, they're just waiting for the peaks that Boise State has constantly dominated with. Here we see Sherb once again looking towards warehouse in garage as 2 of the members of Champlain is looking towards them. My end is frozen for me right now.
Run into a little bit of technical error here. I think we are both frozen, so let's just get some general Rainbow Six knowledge here so we can hear something going on in the background. I know you talked about mastering one character, Brenner Bear. Is there a certain character that you would recommend, or are they all sort of even skill level?
They're definitely not even skill level based off of whether they have max armor or max speed. So you could play someone like the pinnacle character of Rainbow Six Siege is Ashe, because she is the 3 speed like main character of the game. She's very much just like go in and get the job done, whereas you could play someone like Monty who's very slow paced, you scout it out, and they just can't hurt you at all. So it's definitely just like identifying what your playstyle is and then finding an op who complements that.
And then I know you talked about roamers. Are there certain ops? I mean, obviously I know Monty wouldn't be a great roamer with his shield, but are there certain ops that are made to roam? Is that sort of those 3 speed characters you're talking about there? So it's not like you could pick, or could anyone technically be a roamer in the right hands? There's just some that are suited better for it.
There are definitely some who are suited better for it, but again, it comes down to if you're just an amazing player, you can roam with anybody. It also comes down to the guns the ops are equipped with, because some guns are better for roaming than others.
Gotcha. See, I'm trying to plan out my strategy of what I want to be. See, roamer seems fun. I just feel like if I don't click heads, I'm going to be a very useless roamer, and I'm very worried about that.
So roamers aren't always also about kills. We see Danny has been playing Pulse a lot, and he's been getting value without the kills because of Pulse's gadget of being able to see the attacker's heartbeats